Well, welcome. We're here with Leo and Lady Hawk and Donald and Dusky to announce one of this government's pet policies. As Minister for Housing Chris Bishop was just saying, a perfect improvement for those who are trying to find a place for their good boy or good girl to stay with them.
Hi everyone. This is a very Lady Hawk. It's a very positive move for renters in New Zealand who want to have dogs, cats, pets in their properties, and we know that many landlords right now just simply say a blanket no to having pets in their properties, and there are good reasons for that. And so what we're doing is outlining 3 changes to the Residential Tenancies Act to make it easier. The first is the biggest one, and it's part of the National Act Coalition Agreement, which is a commitment to introduce a separate type of bond, a pet bond, which will be set at a maximum of 2 weeks extra rent. Landlords can currently charge a 4-week bond period, 4 weeks rent, and so what we're saying is that if you want to have a pet on top of that, you can charge an additional 2 weeks rent that will go to the tenancy bond database and be held by the government on tenants' behalf. The second change we're making is to make tenants liable for all the damage that pets sometimes create, a bit of urine and that sort of thing. Everyone watching and listening will be aware of some of the damage that pets can cause. So we're saying that tenants will be liable for not just the intentional damage or other types of damage. All accidental or inadvertent damage will be on the tenant. And then the third thing will be to say that landlords can only withhold consent for tenants to have a pet in their property on reasonable grounds. There's a bit of uncertainty at the moment. As I say, lots of landlords just simply say, you know what, it's all too hard. Actually, we know that tenants in New Zealand, many of them want to be able to have pets in their rental, and so landlords will only be able to withhold that consent on reasonable grounds. David.
Also add that while this is a wonderful story for many people who'll be able to have their pet, it also addresses a much darker problem, which is abuse of animals to get at people. Pet Refuge are enormously supportive of this initiative because often it's a partner being abused who stays in an abusive relationship for fear their pet will have nowhere to go. Making it easier to get out of an abusive relationship and find a new place to live with your pet is actually something that has been welcomed by a range of people concerned about that particular issue. For the most part, of course, it's going to be people that just have a good boy or a good girl who want somewhere for them to live that a landlord can't reasonably object to them living there. But also note that there is a darker side to animal abuse that this will help many people in danger escape.
So look, as Minister of Housing, I'm very proud of this policy. The Minister for Snuggles down here, Lady Hawk, is also extremely proud of it, and Minister Seymour here is Minister for Regulation, as I say, part of the National Act Coalition Agreement. It's expected that we will introduce this legislative change as part of the upcoming Residential Tenancies Amendment Bill, which also contains a range of other announcements that we made last week. We're intending to have that into the House in May this year. It will go to a select committee, obviously, and our hope is to have it into law by the end of the year. In terms of the pet bond regime, we're hoping to be able to bring that into force in late 2025, so a wee way to go. We've got to make the legislative change, and also there's a range of operational improvements to the way the tenancy bond database works that MB, our Minister, so they're working through that right now, but we've got to get the law change in place by the end of the year, bring it into force towards the back end of 2025.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.